actually our last, let's say, big tool, what we could use or what we could do in the, to do some online marketing and to get more traffic. Electronic direct marketing or easy newsletters. Let's start from the beginning. What is that actually? Or how does it work? So usually the easiest form is, you see on some websites you can subscribe for e-news or a newsletter, or sometimes they call it don't miss out. Please enter your email address. All right, so in the case we don't want to miss out, even we don't know what's happening or what we're getting, we subscribe and we'll leave our newsletter or our email address on that website, and that will be stored in a, let's say, in a database. And then we use this database, for example, in a newsletter tool, for example, MailChimp, but there are many others as well. And the one who has the email address says, all right, let's do a newsletter once a month, quarterly, or maybe just once a year. And they send out an email to all those people who decided to leave the email address on my website. So that's usually the process how a newsletter actually works. Who's doing email marketing? Actually quite a lot. That is excellent. Who is using Outlook to do email marketing? One. Excellent. All right. Well, Outlook is not the best tool for it because you don't have the template. You kind of promote your website as good as you could do it, let's say, with any other email programs. And these ones are free as well. So it is always good to have a professional email marketing tool, not just because of a design perspective, but because you can track down as well how many people actually clicked on my email and how many went back to my website. So if you spend, let's say, 2 days to create an email marketing campaign, you want to know how many people are actually come back to a website and did something. If no one is coming, well, you wasted 2 days. All right, so this is kind of how the newsletter works. And of course, we do newsletter or email marketing to stay in touch, to promote our business, to build a relationship with our customers. Okay, so if you haven't started yet to do email marketing, or if you think of, oh, that's a good way to actually, for my business and I could do it, this is how you should start. The first thing is email addresses. Well, that's the hardest part. How do I get my email addresses of my customers if I haven't any yet? So a good point is usually, as I talked earlier about, a subscription on your website. Usually good to know is let the consumer know what you're writing about and how often. If you only say don't miss out, that's not a big motivation for them to leave an email address. So if you talk about, okay, we are sending out 2 newsletters a year and we're talking about specials or savings or news, local news, they may leave the email address because they know, all right, the content has a high value for me. Other ways are, well, as soon as you talk to someone on the phone, you know, oh, this kind of customer actually comes to my place every year for the last 10 years. I just ask him on the phone. That's fine. Or every kind of touch point of your customers, wherever you are, on an email signature, on Facebook, ask people to join your newsletter and to leave the email address. So that would be a way to collect email addresses. If that doesn't work for you, you can still think about, all right, I give them something, kind of benefit or an incentive to leave or to give me the email address. Sometimes if I go to a restaurant, they have a little bowl and they ask for business cards. And they say, this is our business card drawer. You can win $100 once a month if you put in your email or your business card. And it's combined with the newsletter. So I say, all right, $100 a month, potentially, oh, that's worth it. I give my email address away. So that's another way to get an email address. And then we have to think about what kind of emails or newsletters or e-news can I actually send out to my consumer. Well, that can be just a normal campaign, talking about your business. It can be a special. It can be some really important information. It can be a birthday email, for example, or it can be something before they come and stay, say, oh, I'm very, very excited to see you coming next week. And, oh, by the way, the weather is like this and this and this. Please bring. Or if they left, you can say, thanks for staying and Hope to see you again. And by the way, this is our website, and this is our newsletter, and this is our Facebook site. So you have different possibilities actually to send them an email. So there are different types of emails. And then we have, oh, that's good, time to send. This is where people start arguing. We think, or we heard, that Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday are the best days to send this out. But I know that there are other people who are doing some very similar things. They say it is actually Wednesday and Thursday. So actually what it means is you have to find out when your consumer is opening an email. So try on a Monday, next time you try the Tuesday, next time you try the Wednesday, and wherever you have the biggest opening rate, then you know when your consumer is actually opening a newsletter. Okay. Content, that's a good part. Don't send out a newsletter if you have nothing to say. Yeah? Very, very important. Be very, very personalized. If you start writing your copy and you think you're done, cut it in half and split it and only put half of the copy actually into your newsletter because that's enough. Use links to your Facebook, to your website, have photos and some kind of call to action. So you want the consumer to do something if they open your email. And that's, oh no, I will jump forward. The call to action is very important. I have two different email or newsletter types on this screen. This one is just, let's say, a birthday email. And I let consumer know here, it's a bit of text, a description, and happy birthday, of course, and a call to action button. Because, of course, I want these guys to do something. I want them to click and come to my website. That's why I'm doing the email marketing. I want them to come to my website and maybe to book something or to get more information or to make an inquiry or whatever it is. So the call to action in a newsletter is highly important. Here as well, this is a campaign to promote just a campaign or like to go into a competition. This is the call to action button. I want the consumer to go on a website. That's why I have a newsletter. I want them to go somewhere. Okay, I jump one slide back. Some guidelines. If you start doing email marketing, it is highly important that you have a subscription. Somehow the consumer said, yep, you can use my email address. Otherwise, if you're just using email address because you're stored somewhere, that might be illegal. So that's something you should have in mind if you're sending out newsletters to your consumers. Use a professional tool, be yourself, send only really interesting and valuable information. Right, and track what's happening. What's happening if you're sending out a newsletter? How many people are opening it, how many people come to a website, and even how many people booked something or bought something after your newsletter.
How do you know if they're opening your email?
If you use a professional tool, it will let you know. Yeah, they can track. They have a little attached to each newsletter. It's in the domain. There is a little code, and that code will tell the system if you use this code or not. And as soon as you open the newsletter, that code is actually active. Yes, yeah. Any kind of professional email marketing tool will have that. Outlook not. Okay, we have the examples. Excellent, we are almost through. A few things to consider. However, or whatever you want to do to increase your traffic on your website, always track some kind of statistics to analyze if it's working or not. So, whatever you do regarding SEO and SEM, have in mind how many more visits you get, how much time a consumer is spending on my website compared to earlier. If you use Google AdWords, the impressions is the first thing you want to know. The second is how many people actually clicked through and went to a website. And if you can measure it, have the conversion rate somehow accessible. So if you want them to go somewhere, for example, to your booking engine platform or to the online booking system, if that's your goal where you want people to go, have or track down how many people from wherever they come from go to your online booking system. If you work with online advertising, banner, email marketing, or whatever, same thing. Open or try to track how many people open it, click through, open into your email, or how much money did you spend to get a placement? And how much money did you get back through that kind of online marketing. Facebook and Twitter is a bit different. What we track here is more about how many more likes do I get, how many more followers do I get, how much more engagement do I have, how many people are actually retweeting my tweets, or how many comments do I get. So that's something I have in mind when we work with social media platforms. All right, yeah. Who's working with Google Analytics? Quite a lot. That's good. Who's not? One. Nice. No, that's fine. That's all right. In Google Analytics, it's actually an old slide. They just changed the design. You can track down the visitors, where they're coming from, what kind of source. You have access to Google AdWords, so you can see what kind of keywords they use to come to your website. Yeah, and you can see if they're using even mobile or not mobile devices. Yeah, again, so the traffic source on Google Analytics is really important to understand and to see what's happening and changing as soon as you do any kind of online marketing. All right, something to always have in mind is, or to track down, to analyze after you've done something, is actually the optimizing. Track down how much time and money you're spending on each of these different online activities. These ones. Have in mind how much more traffic you get, and then analyze and compare the outcome. If you have the feeling like I'm spending 3 hours a day on Facebook, but I'm not getting any click out of this on my website, and actually I'm not getting any money after, let's say, a year, or it's not working at all, maybe you want to think about the effort you're spending on Facebook. Maybe 3 hours is too much, maybe reduce this to 1 hour. If you're spending, let's say, $1,000 in Google AdWords, you get a lot of traffic, but actually no one is buying anything. Well, that's nice. People know your website, but you don't get your money back. So maybe you want to cut it down to $100 a month. That's something you always should have in mind. How much money, how much effort do I spend? Yep.
Are there any benchmarks? I mean, you know, if you, for things like analytics,
Yeah.
or any of them, so that you could say, well, you know, I'm getting so much traffic to my website, I'm getting 5% are opening, you know,
Yep.
and then of that, another 5% are buying. Is that are there any benchmarks you can measure your industry against an industry standard? So you know whether that's a good result or whether you've got a long way to go?
Yeah, well, the first result I would compare to is to my business objectives. If I want to increase my website traffic by 10% in a year, that's the first measurement I would have in mind. Did I reach my own goal? There are market numbers of how much email marketing can potentially do, or how effective it can work for an industry, but actually I don't.
MailChimp offers really good benchmarking tools. When you sign up for an account and you tell them what industry you're in, when you send a campaign, it will actually feed back and say that you're so many % above the industry standard in terms of open rate and click-through rate. So MailChimp's a really effective tool.
Well, that might be true. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that is module 3. That's all about what you can do in the to do some online marketing to get more traffic to your website. You know, it's a lot of information, a lot of things to think about, but we're going to use all these different opportunities in the next workshop.
Where it shines, Queensland shines on me. Where Australia shines.